against Misfits.
Yeah.
How are you feeling? Perfect game. What was that all about?
Yeah, I'm actually kind of surprised we perfect gamed them. I think we played really well, but I also think they were really reactive and they didn't really try to make anything. So obviously I feel great about the perfect game, but yeah, I just feel like they kind of rolled over and just died, and that's why we kind of perfect gamed them.
When did you know as a player that you were going to win us?
Actually, after they chased us into Euro and we got the double kill and we got bot turret, I felt like we had the momentum going. I just felt like we're gonna win this game for sure, you know. So obviously from draft as well, we had really good team comp for snowballing, and after we got bot turret, I had a feeling in my body that we're just gonna win this game.
Well, you seem to be in a pretty good shape right now. We talked to each other 2 weeks ago. Now you guys are 4-4 in the standings. How happy are you with the results so far?
I wouldn't say I'm actually too happy about the results. I think it's more so how we play the game. I feel like the wins we got earlier into the season, I feel like we got them because the enemy team was just worse than us. I don't feel like we necessarily played better. But I think this week, especially yesterday against Vitality and today, we kind of showed a better Rocket. And yeah, it's more so about the growth than actually the results. And yeah, I feel like this week we stepped up a lot, and I'm excited for what the future brings.
I had a quick talk with Memento before the game. Yeah. We know he's a strong voice in the team, but how helpful is he really, like, inside?
Yeah, he's definitely the leader. Even today's game, after Nasher, I was like, all right, guys, just pick out Memento, what are we going to do with this Nasher? And then Memento just tells us what to do, and we just play the game. So whenever we want to make a decision or we don't know what to do, or we get Nasher, for example, everybody asks Memento, okay, what do we want to do? And Memento says it, and we just follow the plan. So yeah, I guess Memento is it's really calming game, and yeah, that's just the game plan, I guess.
Yeah, it must be nice to have someone to rely on. Well,
yeah, definitely.
Anyways, congratulations about today, and thank you very much for joining me after the game. And back to Dracos and Vidios at the desk.
Thank you very much, Law. Interesting to hear. Memento, the core shot caller. Everything
the
goes
leader.
through Memento. You want to do something, you talk to Memento first.
You got to run it by the boss, man. You know, hey, are we going for nachos tonight? Well, we got to ask Memento. That's what we got to make sure.
Let him know. Nachos is very important here in the EU LCS. All right, well, we had a vote for player of the game. It's not going to be Memento. It is going to be Profit. 57% of the votes. This man is a fiend on that Camille video.
Yeah, I mean, look at him, right? Like, this guy has had a fantastic performance so far. He's been playing split pushes as an individual. That seems to be the style that he has found so much success on. And this game in particular, I think that he demonstrated he can play a little more than just Gnar.
Just the Gnar. He likes those champions. He is a playmaker. I love to see it. But as we speak, Giants and Fnatic are gearing up for our next matchup. And after securing a spot in the LCS last year, Giants have taken down some of the best teams in Europe, proving themselves as a contender for a top spot.
You got to get excited about this team, Dracos, because their list is looking to be completed today. They've taken down G2. They've taken down Misfits, the two finalists from summer of 2017, and now they're looking to take down Fnatic, the titans of the European LCS.
And I just love watching this team. They are so proactive in what they're trying to do. You can be critical of Joko sometimes. Sometimes he goes too deep, but he always goes, Vedius. He always looks for these big plays. The team is there to rally behind him, and I love what I'm seeing because, let's be honest, Vedius, we didn't expect this at the start of the season. We thought, hey, this is going to be a bottom-of-the-table roster, but you see them now. They can come back from any kind of deficit, and they proved it in their last game.
9,000 goals down at 30 minutes against Misfits, and they were able to find the comeback. Fantastic team fighting from this team. The fact that they've been able to work so effectively together has been a surprise to many analysts across the board. So I'm excited to see if they can continue this trajectory. We have heard from Fnatic that they don't think this team is actually that good, especially from Caps. He's looking to shut down Betsy.
I want to see what he's going to do. Caps versus Betsy is such a hype match, but we also have to talk about Fnatic in general and how they've been improving, as we saw yesterday versus Unicorns of Love. It feels to me like the team is starting to come together at least a little bit now on the Fnatic
Yeah,
side.
And we've got to look at this mid lane matchup specifically because Caps has been one of the biggest playmakers of the team, and when he's going up against Betsy, who has shown a lot more consistency, especially in yesterday's matchup where he was really dishing out the damage. His Azir game was phenomenal, getting 2 triple kills back-to-back in 2 separate fights. You've got to keep your eyes on these two players as they're really some of the cornerstones of their two rosters.
Yeah, and of course, Reckless, I think we still have to bring it up. We still have to talk about him because while Caps has been this insane playmaker for the team overall, still yesterday we saw Fnatic playing around. They gave him the Sivir. They put everything into engaging team fights where he could just clean up with that Ricochet, and I want to see what kind of style Fnatic's going to bring to the table.
I feel like that Fnatic are starting to find that style that works for them in the current meta. Invest resources into this guy and play around him. We saw the hard engage composition coming out from Fnatic, where they ran the Zac, they ran the Alistar, they ran the Sivir, and it was just all in, go hard, get those kills, and they found it time and time again. It's fun to watch this Fnatic roster right now, and when you go up against the Giants team, who seem to be really good at team fighting, I'm expecting a lot of blood, a lot of action, and two of these top teams fighting for that top spot.
All we want. In a world of stopwatch, in a world of Rise plus stopwatch, we just want fights, Vedius. But if it comes to that late game scenario, how we saw it go for Giants in their previous game, how we saw it go for Fnatic when they were building that team fighting comp, who do we actually think has the edge here in terms of coordination and team fight skill?
I don't know, Dracos. Like, I think it's really difficult to tell because both have shown that when you get to that late game point, individually, many members stead up and their coordination as a team just seems to be on point. Both these rosters, I'm looking to bring excitement. If I was to give the slight edge to a single team, personally, I'm going to have to go with Fnatic.
Ooh, tough road, because Giants right now, they're defending that second place spot. It's time to see if they can defend it against Fnatic. Let's send it to our casters who are standing by for the call.
Thank you very much, Dracos. And good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Trevor Quickshot Henry, joined at the desk by Martin DeFisher. It's good to be back after a week away, and what an exciting week it's been. Some upsets, some crazy games, some surprises.
Yeah, every single caster predicted Misfits to win the last game, and then Rocket perfect gamed them.
Hey, I mean, Giants weren't meant to win yesterday, and they ended up winning as well. Anyways, let's move on and see which teams are starting on what sides. Fnatic, they will be on the blue side today with Soaz, Broxah, Caps, Reckless, Hylissang, as well as their coach Dylan Falco on the backside.
Yeah, Fnatic yesterday, I absolutely love the draft. You know, all-in composition, dive the backline every single time you can. Reckless on a Sivir where he could be a massive carry. Looked really good. On the other side, the Giants as well keeps finding success, and it's always, Trevor, around the late game.
Why is that important, DeFiscio?
Because this meta, it allows you to get to late game almost every single game, and then they have a bunch of carries. Steelback, Betsy, who's actually performing well in team fights. They have Ruin up in the top lane, who can be really good in the front line as a tank. I am very impressed with the synergy, the chemistry on a new Giants lineup.
All right, talking about picks and bans, looking forward, DeFiscio, you said to me, as we're about to go on air, that you feel the Giants are going to draft for the late game.
Just a feeling.
Just a feeling.
Just a feeling.
Is there anything, you know, that you can, you know, glean from your crystal ball?
Right. Every single game Giants have won so far in the EU LCS, it's been with a late game comp. It's been around late game team fights. If you keep winning, don't change it. Fnatic, on the other hand, have tried a lot of different things. We've seen early game draft, we've seen the death ball yesterday, where there's so much dive that AD carry could never stay alive. I want to see that again. I want to see them draft that kind of comp and then try and kill Betsy and Steelback in every fight.
Betsy and Steelback in front. If they don't, of course, Steelback maybe goes back to his janitorial roots that we talked about a lot. We'll see if he can outgrow that title. Looking back, it is, of course, patch 8.2. This will be the last week of 8.2 here in EU. We'll go to 8.3 next week. Camille, Tom Kenshin, Galio off the table.
Second day in a row where I jump on the caster desk and we get the best pick and ban song. Oh, I'm a fan. Anyway, let's talk about the bands. I just wanted to be a DJ for a moment right there, even though I'm actually not controlling the music, but I tried.
He was legitimately air DJing.
And I looked at you for approval, and you didn't do anything.
I gotta be honest, it's not quite as cool as air guitar. That's got a little bit more oomph to it, DeFiscio.
That's fair, that's fair. But the Galio ban here, very, very important, Trevor, because Caps' Galio is very, very strong. Azir is another pick I always look at when it's Fnatic, because they love to first pick it. It gives mid lane control. It allows Caps to wave clear mid lane all game long, and they've first picked it so often. This game, it is left open because the Vladimir that Soaz played yesterday gets banned away. Gnar is also available for Ruin, and he loves to play Gnar.
Going to the top tier picks, it's going to be the frontman Reckless's Tristana instead locked in. What does this leave open for Giants if they wanted to go for some scaling? If they wanted to lock in the Azir, deny it from Caps?
Sejuani's #1 pick for Joker so far. Great scaling on that side. Late game AD carry-wise, there are a bunch of hyper carries left open. Caitlyn is also there if they want a bit more for the laning phase. Tagamas and his famous brand is also available. I like to take away with the Azir. I'm actually surprised Fnatic go all in for this Tristana on their side, because if you look over at Steelback, he's only played Tristana once so far. It's not been like a must-pick for him. There are enough champions he can play. There's the Gnar, and again, as I said before, the very important Azir did you take away from Caps.
Oh, but I'm seeing some scaling already, Deficio. I'm seeing some ability to play mid and late game,
And Betsy's Azir is really good in teamfights.
it absolutely is. Of course, 4 games played for Betsy. Do you know how many losses he's had?
I'm going to say 0.
Correct. 17, 5, and 19 over the course of Giants' 4 games played with that pick. And he's going to get his hands once again. Fnatic now have a chance to respond. That Ornn, of course, we've seen it go support this week. It was top lane last week.
Yeah.
Do you have an early indication of where you expect it to go?
I mean, the great thing about a flex pick is you don't have to tell the enemy team where it's going.
Such a cop-out when I ask the question.
I'm going to say it's going to be support Ornn. Soas just watched his colleague up in the top lane, Alfari, in the last game on the Ornn. That didn't go well.
Not so
Soas
well.
definitely told his coach, no dog champ for me.
So Deficio, hypothetically, if this is support Ornn, would Targamas run his famous brand that went 1-6 last week?
It is possible. It is normally best against Tahm Kench.
Okay.
But, because the thing is, you don't really want to play against things that can engage on you, because you're brand.
So which one says no? It's not going to happen.
Yeah, because level 6 Ornn can just kind of ult you in lane and you might die. Anyway, there is always the chance that Targamas shows us the famous brand. This is the Sejuani we talked about before. Giants, by the way, are getting comfort picks everywhere. Best mid lane choice, best support, best jungler, best top laner so far. If I go down the list of what else would be the best normally for them, Caitlyn, Tahm Kench in the bottom lane. Tahm Kench is already banned, so they at least won't get the support.
And of course, Caitlyn available for Steelback in Phase 2. The question I have for you, with my slightly pessimistic hat on, did Fnatic make a mistake in the draft? Have they given too many power picks away?
I think they value Tristana way too high in this draft. I don't think you need to first pick it. There are plenty of good AD carries available, but they're saying if Reckless plays Tristana, we feel that we will win no matter what.
Okay.
So we have to see if that is true, because right now they're giving Giants what they want to play.
Yeah, no matter what. 3 top-tier picks for the Trinity in the top half of the map, but Caitlyn and Tahm Kench are banned away.
Okay, so they do completely remove the 2 preferred choices in the bottom lane. Now, there is, of course, Jinx for Steelback as one of the things he can play, but there are still other late-game hyper carries he can grab for himself. Korkmar is available if he wants to play it. I want to highlight one thing on Fnatic's side that is also open in this draft.
Yes.
It is my boy, Aurelion Sol.
Now, we've seen that already.
Yes, we have. There's an Azir on the other side, so you can pick Aurelion Sol against this one and just leave the mid lane, go down to this first pick Tristana, and then you just chain feed Reckless. He doesn't even want to eat, you just keep feeding him. And at some point he's strong enough to carry the game.
So, with Ezreal now locked in, is this where we see a Sol?
Obviously Ezreal is one of the better AD carries at avoiding.
Oh yes, it helps Arcane Shift, very useful in that way.
Getting chain ganks, but I still think you can do it on Fnatic's side. Let's see actually with support as well, because I said before, I was looking at the Ornn going down there. They can still just put it on Soa's top side because Camille is banned. Vladimir is also gone, so we might have to settle for the Ornn top lane due to all the top lane bans that Soas could take against the Gnar. It's just not really something that's going to win the 1v1.
It's not really exciting, is it? It's not going to be the roaming Aurelion Sol, but it's roaming Kassadin instead. Slightly different flavor, but maybe the same sort of results?
Yeah, close enough, I will say, in this situation for Fnatic. It's not about now winning mid lane super hard for the Kassadin. It's more about going towards the late game, become a split pusher where Zia can't stop you. And as I changed my Ornn prediction to top, we did get the Taric driver, so I get half a point for that.
Half a point for that one. Unfortunately, Soaz will be on the dog champ, and Stats have just whispered some sweet nothings into my
Lock
ear.
it in, man.
This will be the first time that Caps plays Kassadin on stage in the EU LCS. Let's see how he performs on that one.
Yeah, Kassadin is always one of those champions that in scrims, you either 0-10 or 10-0, because there can be so many fights in scrims, and as a Kassadin you can be so weak in the early game you just die a million times and you're useless. And then there's the next game where they just run into you and give you a bunch of kills and it feels great. But often when I talk to mid laners about Kassadin, they always tell me, yeah, we don't really practice him a lot. I just always have it ready in case I want to play
Look,
it.
it's one of those mid lane champions that is synonymous with mid lane. That goes back years
Especially
and years
Europe.
and years. especially with Fnatic, no less. So every mid laner should be able to play Kassadin, at least theoretically.
It's
right?
true, it's true. But Giants, strong late game comp again. The Ezreal is the only one where we can say, okay, maybe Steelback can't have the same performance we've seen in other team fights, but obviously he's mid game and still going into the early stages of the late game is going to be fine.
All right, Giants, early game. Let's see what they can do, see if they can go even and find themselves a safety net, because they've got some scaling to play with. And let's keep our eyes on this Ornn, because I was interested in the Ornn. I like the fact it was moving to the support this week, and now we're seeing it appear in the top lane a couple times. Flex picks are always interesting to me.
Exactly, but what Fnatic also did in this draft was they said, you know what, we can grab some champions like Kassadin that could get punished early game and say, we are not afraid of Giants snowballing out of control. We know this game will go to late game, so Kassadin can shine. That is an adaptation from Fnatic's side.
Well, Fnatic take our energy from the Fnatic faithful here in Berlin, Germany. Let's find out if they can pick up another win and take down Giants. And of course, this is fighting for that second place seed on the table as we're getting close to finishing round one of the round robin. Next week, Friday, every team will have faced everyone else at least once. And for Fnatic to potentially be lower down 4-4, 4-5, as opposed to 6-3, is a very, very big difference for a team that was expected to be the #1 seed coming into the 2018 season.
That is very true. Of course, if they do win today and win also on Friday, suddenly they're right behind Vitality, up near the top. Vitality, though, currently sitting with 7-1 as the clear #1 team in Europe. Not playing this game, Giants versus Fnatic. Battle at the top of the standings here in the EU LCS. And Giants with their classic, super strong teamfight composition. Fnatic with a little bit more diversity.
You know, you talked about that super strong team fighting composition. I have a gold graph that can highlight a little bit of how Giants kind of like to play. You know, yesterday when they took down Misfits, they were behind a lot. You can see that mountain. And then they found that one magical team fight and turned it all around to Fisher.
And it's happened multiple times. A week ago against Rocket, they were also really far down in the mid-game. They almost lost the Baron until they found a team fight with a Jinx trap, and suddenly they won the game. It just turned around completely. And they don't lose late-game fights when they are suddenly starting to get ahead. We gotta give them a lot of credit for that. I think they are super clean when it comes to calling in fights.
To Fisher, of course they are. They've got the janitor to clean up behind them.
Right.
Absolutely everybody in the Giants squad. Ruin tends to do well in the early game, tries to transition some of those advantages elsewhere, and Betsy and Steelback, they've been consistent, reliable in the mid to late game.
Yeah, I think actually consistent and reliable are the best way currently to describe these guys. Joko is not consistent, he's crazy, and he will often perma-gank level 3, level 4, level 5, level 6. Randomly, he's behind the enemy team. We don't know why he's there, but he's making something happen all the time. I'm expecting the same thing on this Sejuani, just because Joko loves to be active early on and sometimes gets a kill or two.
Gets a little over-eager at times, sometimes too.
Well, yeah, that can definitely happen for Joko, but for now, we are watching him move his way towards ganking the Rift Scuttler, or the Scuttle Crab.
Let's see what he can do in terms of first ganks. Broxah, level 3, Joko, level 3. No real threat yet on either of the lanes, but we're getting to that first gank timing.
There we go, Joko.
And as expected, Tafisho highlighting Joko's pathing. Broxah, also a man of, regularity, shall I say. Likes to go top lane, gank for Soaz. I remember you pointing that out, something that he did last year and this year as well.
Yeah, I mean, the start of this year, I agree, but then I feel like lately, he's kind of said, you know what, Soaz, I'm going to leave you alone. And then Broxah would rather go bottom lane or not gank at all. And suddenly he's just farming a lot and he's kind of waiting for team fights where he's doing very well. But early game, especially his mid laner, in a lot of games could use his help. Now it is tough to gank for Kassadin, so I don't blame him for not ganking Betsy already. But we know that Joko is going to be around mid lane, want to try and shut down this Kassadin early, and that's why Caps is playing so safe in the lane. But really, it's a classic strategy. If you play against Fnatic, you gank mid. It tends to work pretty well in the early game.
Well, let's see if Joker can make it work this game. Already shown his face once. Caps is being pushed in pretty heavily by Betsy. The summoner spells popped up. 1, 2, 3 unsealed spellbooks on the side of Fnatic with Soaz, Caps, and Hylissang. Over on the Giant squad, no unsealed spellbooks, so slightly less TPs to play with.
And it is interesting. Caps not running with Presence of Mind, which we have seen a lot on Kassadin here in the new meta after the runes were changed. Instead, he's going for spellbooks, so inspiration tree, and then sorcery. And the reason they don't run Presence of Mind is because there are just better options for them right now. It's not that Presence of Mind is bad by any means, because you get that level up or the assist or the kill, and you get the free mana.
Yes.
It's amazing on Kassadin, of course. But going Gathering Storm is something Faker did as well as his second choice, so that he had to pick the sorcery tree. And then, of course, you want to have the spellbook because it's just
It's
pretty
so
much
powerful.
overpowered at the moment, so there's not room for Presence of Mind because there are some better scaling choices, especially that Gathering Storm. And Kassadin, it's all about just getting to the late game anyway.
Well, the more things change, the more they might stay the same, Deficio. First gank for Broxah. Just to be here on the top lane. Let's see if we can get anything on Ruin. Down the bottom lane, Hylissang's already flashed. Follow up for Joko. This is potentially first blood. Summoner heal has already been used. Hylissang 100 hit points, running for his life and survives. Reckless body blocked the Mystic shot, and Giants unable to secure the kill.
Joko did force 3 summons right there from Fnatic's bottom lane, and this is what we talk about with Joko. It's not about farming all early game, always looking for some ganks, try to help some of his lanes. You get to push this in as well. Hylissang obviously can't swap to TP as everything is on cooldown. I'll have to just run back. Reckless though, still full HP, can pick up this entire minion wave for himself, gets a bit of extra experience over his support. Meanwhile, Joko is on the way towards mid lane, but Caps already hit level 6.
Yeah, Rift Walk and Flash available for Caps. I'm gonna maybe need some of them.
Joko's level 4, so
Not even gonna tag anything. Joko just dinged there, level 5. And he's able to walk away with his life. Caps actually didn't even flinch. Just stared him down. He's like, come at me, bro.
Well, I guess Joko basically just wanted to go to Raptors as fast as possible, and the quickest route was through mid lane.
Ooh.
Caps stopping the recall.
Just being annoying, getting in his face. Of course, no teleport for Betsy, so gonna hurt him a little bit.
Yeah, Betsy's currently staying. Heal is there in case he wants to try and bait something, but he's very low on mana. To just accept that he needs to push out the lane once more. Obviously, Caps cannot TP back right now.
Yes. Already used that one just a moment or two ago. Hylissang with an early roam up. He's now making his way just to shove this wave out as Reckless back to the bottom lane. So Berserker's Greaves picked up very early for Reckless. Steelback's gone for the tier and the pickaxe. No huge surprises there.
And while both teams are happy scaling at the moment, the fact that Caps are getting just free farm in his lane, they can't really shut him down like we've seen other teams try and do, because now he can just jump with the Kassadin, is really good for him and Fnatic. Obviously, on the other side of Giants, it's going to be 5-man group together in the late game.
Yeah.
Just hitting at whatever is right in front of them with Azir and Ezreal, and then eventually get one tank down on Fnatic's side, and then they can go for the squishies. Source at the moment is sitting without Flash, because he swapped to TP up on top side, and he kept the Ignite.
All right, let's see if Soaz can make that work. We didn't quite catch a glimpse of how Broxah ganked, but let's also talk about this matchup. 56 CS for Soaz's Ornn into the 67 of Ruin's now. You can see some of the stats in terms of their early game kills plus assists. Ruin, first place for top laners versus the 7th for Soaz. CSD +2 versus -8. Things are looking good for Ruin in the early game.
Yeah, and things have not been looking great for Source when it comes to laning phase. I think Source done a great job outside of lane, so as a team fighter and the pressure he applies on the map, but early laning phase, he does get punished fairly often. Sometimes he gets sacrificed as well.
Yeah.
They're kind of like, yeah, so you stay up
But
there.
that's a bit of a historical thing, isn't it?
It is a classic, of course. Ruin on this Gnar will just try and get whatever advantage he can in terms of CS top now, and maybe see if he can get some damage on the turret, but otherwise just get your Black Cleaver, start wearing down the tank. I think Source used his flash earlier when he was up here in the top lane with the gank, but we didn't get to see it.
Yeah.
Or at least he used the Ignite, and then he swapped the flash out for TP so he could TP back to lane. Could also have been what happened.
One of the options, of course. Soaz and Ruin going to be trading out with the minion wave. Soaz did a relatively good job of farming under the turret, still obviously behind in this matchup, and while we were talking about it, caught a glimpse of Broxah and Caps securing that blue buff for Caps' Kassadin. So he's going to return back to the middle lane. No first blood yet. Both junglers have been fairly active. They've had a couple ganks here and there, and they've been successful. There's the Emperor's Divide, glide and slide. Caps gets hammered away from, and it looked good. It didn't amount to much. Ruin forced to flash away from Core of the Forge God, and Soaz turning this one around with that Sheen.
Yeah, and he's looking for the outplay right there with the Ignite as well.
Ah, Bellows' breath goes out. Soaz now about to get Ruin excited. Ruin starts to charge up. Mega Gnar about to proc. Gonna go jump for it. There's the Ignite! The tick! The burn! Soaz with the outplay! Broxer takes down Joko! What? Oh no! Giants, what was that?
Did Joko just tank the tower before he got killed by Broxer?
He walked up and said, please sir, kill me some more!
I also want to die with my top laner. That's great synergy. We talked about the Giant synergy before. We see it right there. Jungler dying with the top laner. 2 kills for Fnatic. I'm pretty sure Ruin was not expecting Soaz to still sit with Ignite, but again, he sat on it for a long time. Because he literally walked up with no HP. Or at least he was like, okay, I'm gonna get Mega now very soon. So it's just like, Ignite, you're dead.
Remember, that's the outplay, all right? Point and click summon a spell. It worked. It worked. All credits.
Hey, flashbacks, week 1 of this spring split. Soaz versus Oran in the top lane. Also Soaz on Ornn.
Yes.
Getting a 1v1 kill. What a beast.
What a beast indeed. I actually think he was behind that game as well, if I recall correctly.
Yeah, okay. So, Ruin is like, okay, I'm gonna stack up Mega Gnar, then Joker's gonna come, he's gonna go through the turret, and we're gonna kill Soaz. There's no flash, remember, on this Ornn. But Ruin doesn't get the last 2 stacks.
I don't think Joko was looking.
See, I like the plan, but the execution was a complete 0 out of 10. Like, everything they could have, done poorly and done wrong just happened. Like, there was nothing good about that play in the end.
There was one good thing. It was listening to that gigantic Poro gurgle to death as it died. That was the only thing I appreciated. This gives Fnatic 1,000 gold lead. And Soaz will almost have Ignite available again.
Yeah.
And he can look to rinse and repeat.
And Giants sticking with the trend of falling behind once we get into the mid game. We'll then have to sit and scale and wait until the late game before they can try and get back in the game. For now, it is Fnatic up in gold, and Cap's still free farming in the mid lane, obviously. Abyssal Mask, seeing as he's against both Azir and the Sejuani here, so getting that MR is really effective for Kassadin. Does cost him a little bit in the AP department, but he will have enough damage.
Definitely wants to
again
for those big fights.
Wait, this one too.
Forge God comes out. Soaz doesn't have support from anybody. Taps, does have teleport, but decides not to pull the trigger. Soaz gets a double knock up. I think he will get just run down by Ruin, and this time round, Soaz bit off a little more than he could chew.
At least he pings where the jungler came from after. He was like, came from here. This wall where he had a control ward. So it's a little bit too greedy.
Yeah.
It's actually because you said his summoner is soon ready. So
yes.
He's gonna fight, and he's like, yeah, I mean, I have a summoner spell over this guy. I can take the 1v1. So no vision in the little tri-brush down here. Joko pulls off a fairly easy gank for himself against the no-flash Ornn, who's sitting on TP and Ignite. Soaz is keeping it, by the way. He's not swapping to flash.
Oh, I want to see this. I want to see how the fight plays out. Caps also goes in for another shot, forced to flash away. Riftwalk's available in a second. Manages to jump down the river, but Summoner Spell blown. Joko, no ultimate means he cannot follow up, and that means Caps also punished for being a little too eager in that middle lane.
And once again, Joko's super active in these games here. Some of the ganks will work, and he'll get a kill and assist for his team, and some of the ganks, sadly, will backfire for him every single game we get to watch. He does tend to fall slightly behind in experience as well, because he's ganking so much and not always getting kills with it. But later on, he will catch up eventually, and then he's still going to be useful in team fights.
Well, you did say it. Level-wise, has just hit level 9. Brox is close to level 10. There's 1,000 gold difference between Joko and Broxer. And talking about some CS differences and gold differences, Soaz, 102 to 116. Want to give a quick shout-out. Longest standing Fnatic member in terms of number of days, as well as playing 233 EU LCS regular season games on this stage of playoffs.
Still no flash.
Still no flash. But another stat for you, Deficio. Soaz averages 1.1 isolated death per game.
Well, he's at 2 now.
That's 2 now. That was exactly what I was looking for. I line him up, you knock him down, Deficio.
Maybe you should get flash now.
Let's take a look if he decides to change it.
I was just like, Joko's kind of decided to just go top and, kill the guy. It's really easy, because you have a lot of CC with Gnar and Sejuani. Anyway, Giants getting right back in this game. Almost dead even in gold. Joko, gank number 1 million.
1 million indeed. There's the Flash Emperor's Divide.
And it works!
Into a perfect Sejuani ultimate. Betsy gets his first of the game.
Meanwhile, Broxa had that one play on top side, and now he needs to do something on the other side of the map because Joko is just all over the place. TP coming down from Soas.
All right, that's going to complete and allow Tower First Blood to be picked up here by Fnatic. 3-man in the bottom lane. It looks like it will get at least equalized by Ruin on the next wave. This minion one has already died, and Giants, the kills they've picked up, they've closed that gold gap, and they're staying, you know, really close to Fnatic in gold.
And Ruin is probably going to get top tower, so Joko never stopped. Kills top lane, steals blue buff, goes mid lane, kills Caps, and walks straight down to bot lane to try and save his turret. Like, this man is everywhere at the moment. And he's still just on the tank. Like, he doesn't have to technically be super active, but it's every time.
But this is the Joko performances you see. Ruin's going to get run down ever so slightly. Broxa looking for the flag and drag. Set up beautifully with the buster shot. Secured by Broxa. But Joko giveth and Joko taketh. This is one of those games where he giveth to Giants a good early start.
I have to ask a question here, though, Trevor.
Tell me.
We have the insect, of course, Lee Sin kicking someone back.
Yes.
What is it called when Tristana flashes in and shoots someone back? Because it can't be the insect also.
No, it can't be, because it's a different move, and
Right.
it has to be attributed to a single player.
And no one kind of invented that.
No one's owned it. No, I don't think so. I mean, I don't know if the audience can think of any Tristana that's gone for that flash rocket jump buster shot.
They've all done it, so...
Let's see whether or not Reckless and Helisan can escape. Targamas, I don't know if he's trying to play the bait game here. Joker's got no ultimate available. Maybe that's where the risk comes in. That's a great interrupt. Not going to do a lot, though. Call of the Forge God comes out, bounce back across mid lane, and Betsy is dunked. Caps is the one that's attributed the kill. Ruin's teleport complete, but the Boomerang Blade does not find a target, and just like that, Fnatic plus 1k gold.
Yeah, really good play here from Broxa, and then Source, of course, joining as well, just with the ulti to try and keep Betsy around the turret. Caps picks up a very important kill for himself after he died before. It's what we often see in games where there's a lot of action. People are fighting top lane, then suddenly the other team will cross map in the bottom lane or in the mid lane. In this case here, Giants had invested a lot on top side with Joko sitting there. So this is just a good setup. Cap, Broxa, plus the ulti from Soas. Easy kill onto Betsy, and Caps, of course, will get out alive. Also getting the TP from Ruin. So another little win there for Fnatic around the mid lane. And I feel like it's been roughly a minute and a half since the last Joko gank.
Yes, it's got to be coming again.
Yeah, I'm kind of feeling it now. It needs to happen soon.
Deficio, you see Tristana stats there for Reckless. 14 wins, 6 losses. Production team just buzzed me and said, apparently, oh, there's Betsy going down, killed by Tristana. Apparently, the Buster Shot combo you talked about is called the Cody Sun. Though I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, but I'm just passing along what the producers are telling me, okay?
I like that.
And so I think we'll call it that if we see it again.
Yep.
We'll keep an eye for it.
That's what it's called now.
But Fnatic take their second tower after a easy kill onto Betsy, just stacking up in that mid lane.
And if you're tired of playing side lanes and you're tired of getting ganked in the side lanes, group mid, go mid. Caps is in there. Fnatic twice killed Betsy, took the mid lane turret. Great response. Like, Betsy thinks he's okay because it's a 1v1, but it's not a 1v1. Nice setup with Hylissang, stun right there onto Caps, and he jumps right into melee range. Secures a very easy kill for Fnatic. So, once again, I love casting Fnatic games because they are never super slow when nothing happens. Because either Fnatic will overextend a little bit in the lanes and get ganked by the enemy jungler, and then we get some fights, or Source will go for a 1v2 randomly, or Fnatic are gonna make some really cool roams and set up some plays on their own. So we keep getting action. 8 kills, 18 minutes in. I'm loving it.
I am indeed, and I want to see how the mid game plays out, because if Fnatic are loosey-goosey like, Giants can team fight well. Giants are not that far behind. It's 20 minutes, it's 3,000 gold. It is sizable, don't get me wrong.
This is classic Giants being this far down. Now, gotta give some credit for them to actually bouncing back earlier when they did fall behind. Quickly after that little misplay in top lane where they lost 2 kills. They found some good ganks with Joko, but now because of mid lane falling due to all the roams from Fnatic, it's once again Giants down about 2,000 gold. Will have to try and protect Betsy mid, but it's tough. He lost his turret already. In a long lane against Kassadin, that sucks for sure. Later the Kassadin can go side lane, and you have to deal with Reckless just jumping onto you. So it's not gonna be fun for Betsy to sit and farm at the moment, but he needs to just try and get what he can without losing too much.
180 CS for now. Leandry's completed. Still working towards that Nash's Tooth. As far as teleports, I'm just taking a quick look. Okay, Ruins is on cooldown. Soaz and Caps have got toys to play with. Soaz still with Ignite, by the way. He's looking for some...
At this point, he's trying to create a new meta.
I can support it. If anyone's got the experience and the gusto to define a new meta, it's going to be Soaz.
Do you remember
He's
back,
earned that right.
Remember back when we had Hecarim top and Fizz top and
Yes.
they all ran like TP, Ignite?
A long time ago.
It is a long time ago.
The horrors that was Tank Fizz as well.
Yeah, Tank Fizz was the main
Terrifying.
one. Maybe Hecarim ran something else. Maybe I misremember that one. But definitely Fizz top lane with it. And now it's Ornn top lane. Not exactly the same, but at least long-range ulti, I guess. Kind of similar.
Definitely going to be useful onto that backline of Ezreal and Azir. Well, we've gone over 20 minutes. Fnatic still in control. They've got the kill lead, the gold lead, the tower lead. Nobody gives a crap about the Cloud Drake. That's been sitting there for a very long time. But eventually, someone will kill it and look for the next Elemental Drake. Where are Fnatic looking? What is the next? I mean, obviously top tower seems to be what they've been trying to gesture for, but they're not really committed.
Keep going, Trevor. Keep answering your own questions.
Okay, but then what happens next to Fisher? Because I can only do one step at a time.
They kill the top tower.
And then
after that, normally a team would put Kassadin in the side lane.
Okay.
And then we'll play Ornn one lane, Kassadin the other one, and then they can play around the Kassadin lane mainly because he's the strongest member.
That makes sense.
Where Caps is, either bot side or top side, they get full control and can eventually set up for Baron or create picks in the jungle. This is Fnatic though. So it's not always we get Caps in the side lane.
So what you're saying is that rule book, or that sort of playbook.
It could be Kassadin stuck mid lane. Let's see Kassadin die.
All right, Joker's going to shut down Caps in the jungle. It is at the cost of the tower, though. So trading kill for tower still probably net positive here for Fnatic. Caps just...
Kind of feel like they could have gotten the tower without Caps dying.
Maybe. I'm a glass half full kind of guy at times. But what else is the cost? Soaz still with that Ignite available. You know, you can throw down the Bellows Breath and call in the Forge Guard for some backup. Going to find Ruin. Ruin's going to look for the flash over the wall. Ignite is ticking. Ruin is burning. And Ruin goes way down. Cool guys don't look at explosions. Soaz does it again.
Man, second time he kills him with it. And he just walks away from it. He knows it's going to take him down.
Listen.
He's taunting him.
Soaz just lights the baguette on fire and drops it to walk away.
Oh man, Soaz with his Ignite TP Ornn getting a second solo kill off the game.
It's the new meta. It's working.
It's new meta, baby.
Everybody do this. This is how you win games, okay? Follow Soaz's lead and, you know, there we go. Cloud Drake finally.
That's the greatest
going
reward
down
for Soaz. That's exactly what he was looking for with that outplay.
It lets him run to lane quicker to ignite Ruin sooner.
Yeah, I mean, I want to see more 1v1s now. Every 1v1 we've seen between Ruin and Soaz has been fantastic.
It has been, especially if you are a Fnatic and a Soaz fan. He ends up coming away in a better position.
Oh, look at this. Caps is in the side lane.
Okay.
Reckless is currently holding mid. We'll, of course, have to concede at the moment because they're like 4 Giants members and you can't just fight them instantly. But if Fnatic can use the static shift Tristana to instant kill the mid lane wave and to actually start moving into the jungle on the side where Caps is split pushing, oh, they get so much control while Giants are trying to just farm. Betsy wants 3 items.
Yeah.
We need, of course, Steelback to get that play the Run King completed so he can kill the Ignite Ornn, the raid boss, down in the bottom lane.
Let's see whether or not Steelback will get enough time. Because theoretically, if Caps is nearby, he's going to jump on his head. Caps has had that Lich Bane for a little while, sitting on a big chunk of gold, 1,000 at the moment. 2 item spikes across the board. It's the Phantom Dancer after Black Cleaver for Ruins Gnaw. And of course, Joko getting beefy as heck, 3 and a bit thousand HP with a Warmogs completed. And Fnatic making it pretty clear. Try clear out this vision, try challenge the deep wards that Giants have placed if you look at the minimap.
Yeah. This Fnatic comp, though, will lack a bit of damage when it comes to the Baron itself. So they can't just like rush it down really quickly if they see Giants are completely out of position. So typically with these Kassadin comps, you see them play for tier 2 towers first. And then when we get a little bit later, around the 30-minute mark, then you start going towards the Baron when Tristana can just wreck it completely with 3 full completed items. So they're kind of waiting a bit in terms of just the damage to kill Baron fast. All right, Swords!
Can he do it? Can he do it a 3rd time? Starting to move forward.
Ruin's learned. He's walking away now.
Interrupted. The Rupture comes up, but Ruin, he's, you know, twice bitten, thrice shy realize he's got to run away. There's the Volcanic Rupture, followed up by the Bellows Breath, and Soaz does not have a Forge God to rely on. He's getting run down by those boomerangs, and Ruin, he fancies his chances.
And Ruin is respecting this 1v1 so much, he went Phantom Dancer second, just to be even stronger against Soaz right now. He is missing Frozen Mallet, which of course does suck a bit for him, because you want to really use that to just keep sticking to the target when it's running, when he's running away from you. But this guy's not running away from you.
Just
He's
about
running
to
at
say.
you. So you need to be able to take the 1v1.
All right, Meganoth throws out that boulder, in this case a gigantic drill bit. Will not connect with Soaz, and Soaz is alive. Ignite is available, the Forge God is coming up again. Maybe we'll see another round in the Soaz-Ruin battle.
And meanwhile, topside, it's tough for Fnatic to set up this split push, because Azir in the mid lane can just always kill the wave so fast, and he's so safe when doing it. And whenever he kills the wave, Cap needs to back away top, because otherwise he just overextends and gets ganked. So they need to do something, and they're trying to kill him.
All right, flash for flash. That means Betsy will be a little bit easier to target next time. Probably worthwhile trading Taric flash for Azir flash if you can capitalize. That's what we need to look at.
One guy with Spellbook, reduced cooldown.
There we
the
go.
other guy, no Spellbook. So of course, for Betsy, it kind of sucks. What can happen when Hylissang's flash is ready again? They can just go mid with him and Reckless, and they can just instant both flash onto Betsy and try and stun him and kill him. And then suddenly they get mid control and Caps can push.
Well, Caps are going to keep pushing, so is Soaz. He's down the bottom lane. To Fisher, you said the Blade of the Rune King for Steelback might be a tool that can help. It's completed, along with the Mirror Mana, along with the Frozen Fist. So Steelback has got some toys to play with and try and keep Soaz at arm's length. Just keep spamming Mystic shots until eventually, hopefully, that Ornn dies. But we're going to be in for some very long team fights, I feel, aren't we?
Well, there is a Kassadin, so it could be a quick one where he just bursts
good
one
point.
guy in the face. We've definitely seen that one before. The Caps wants that level 16 badly. Again, remember, no presence of mind. So when it comes to, you know, getting that free mana in a fight and get a few additional ulti jumps that you can use to just basically get a pentakill, it's not there. It's more scaling, gathering storm instead. Faker did the same, so therefore you have to. You have the rights to do it.
Yes.
If Faker's done it, you can do it.
Yes, and let's see how well Caps uses it, of course. So it's one thing to imitate, it's another to replicate. And that's what this teenager has to do on the stage. Whether or not Caps will show up is another story. Third item completed, Hourglass.
Exactly.
Along with those adaptive helms.
And it is
like that was a good
important.
subtle one.
It's just so important he doesn't play like a baby in the fights, because you have to be aggressive on
too far.
Kassadin.
Now you pushed it too far, okay?
If you just let me say it instantly, but then you had to point out the hourglass. I was even tapping on the table.
Oh, you got a bit quicker. Remember, no flash for Hylissang. Cosmic Radiance is available. Going to start to get channeled. Here comes Broxah from around the corner. Cataclysm goes down. Steelback's in the back. Cosmic Radiance has finished. Soaz with a 3-man knockup. That sets up Reckless for a kill. Now Giants are running for their lives. The Forge God is summoned, and it is good. Giants knocked into the air. The flash follow from Broxah gets even more. Giants are getting frequent flyer miles with the amount of time they're in the air. Steelback tries to turn it around, but there's simply not enough damage, simply not enough frontline, and Fnatic peel for the river.
Oh, they're waiting in the brush right here. They want to bait it.
And there's the stun, another for Fnatic. Get the reset, get the jump, get the flash. Steelback is golden, but there's no prizes waiting. Soaz sends him packing. That's 4 for Fnatic.
Fnatic, they just wanted to try and get this Kassadin into a team fight, but before that happened, we saw some good kiting and then amazing setup from Soaz when he actually joined with the double TP. So it's Giants forcing the fight mid. This is how you typically stop the 1-3-1 comps. You go mid and you force an engage. But this ulti missed from Betsy. That's huge already. And now the Taric ult is there to buy time. Double TP and Soaz smacks 3 members up in the air. And now there's a Kassadin in this here. There's a untouched Reckless just hitting everyone left and right. And Giants used too much of trying to kill the Taric and the Tristana, who stayed alive due to the ulti. And they had nothing left. Nice little bait.
Oh, such a good team fight from Fnatic. Every single skill shot hits, and Giants, they're now down 5,000 gold, and Fnatic looking extremely confident.
Yeah, and that move from Betsy cost a lot, because not only did he not get an early kill in the fight, he also ended up being positioned in the front line. Had already used his escape. That flash was gone from earlier when Hylissang traded flash for flash. And Trevor, you asked, was it worth it? I say yes.
It was indeed, especially because Hylissang being flashless was the target. So
Yeah, that's true. So
it's that
you baited.
snowball.
And Betsy was suddenly in the front line, getting CC'd, and he died. And
Do you know what I did miss, though? I missed the Molotov baguette, whether or not Soas still had it in that previous fight or not.
oh, I didn't see. Let me go
The
back.
fact that the flash is available means he probably didn't use it even if he had it. But, you know, I think Molotov baguette, I think we should try and make that a thing. I'm getting some nods of approval from the Fnatic fan club here in Berlin. It's 30 minutes on the clock, and with Baron, Fnatic are now sieging.
He did not use his Ignite in the
But he
last
had it?
fight. He had it?
Ah, you see, didn't even need the baguette. Didn't even need it. That's how...
It's only for
confidently.
1v1s. That's the meta.
Okay, I get it. Okay, I get it now. I get it.
Yeah, you
Right.
can't waste it in team fights.
It's about sending that message, isn't it?
It really is.
Right, I understand. I'm learning now. I'm learning with you, Deficio. How Soaz dominates his lane, dominates the game. By the way, Fnatic took another tower.
Yes.
It was in the little picture on the bottom.
I believe they will also get this last tier 2 tower, Trevor. Sorry, there's 2 left.
There's 2, yeah.
But they will get both tier 2 towers.
Okay.
With this Baron buff. Juko is down here, but he can't really force a fight. Just keep it ruined.
Ruin is feeling a little bit brave there, forced to hop away. Manages to do so. So that's tower number 5. Only 1 inner turret remaining. Teleports are up for Caps and Soaz momentarily. And that inner turret, definitely the focus. Look at the ring of vision that's been set up by Fnatic, denying everything from Giants. Thank you, observers, for highlighting that. And of course, with Mountain Drake coming up soon, they'll also be able to peel back and grab that in a moment or two.
Oh, Swords again!
All right, now there is a flash available for Betsy. He's going to be forced to use that. The Forge God comes out, eaten alive by Targamas. Reckless has got himself one into Betsy. A hop forward from Caps, takes down Steelback. The damage is gone. A 3-man knockup for Giants. They are getting deleted! Fnatic not able to find the ace, but they will find the base. The inhibitor turret is the next focus, and Ruin, they can only stand by and watch.
Fnatic just keep forcing fights right now. They ignored the tower completely. They went straight for the backline of Giants. Once again, Soaz is the one who starts the fight. Broxer then with the follow-up onto Betsy. And we're only 31 minutes in, and they're looking to finish.
Fnatic are on the Nexus turrets already. That's 1 down. Giants haven't respawned. They want the ace. Ruin forced to run for his life. Reckless firing away at the base of the fountain. It's not enough. And Fnatic destroy Giants.
Another Fnatic game with a lot of action. A lot of fun moments, like Soaz in the top lane, of course, on the Ornn with his new summoner choices. Mid lane, Caps was farming. Reckless did what he needed to do early game as well. Just got 2 items as fast as possible. And then when we were kind of looking for the split push setup, we were like, oh, it can be tough to get mid lane control against the Azir. That big fight happened where Betsy went all in, missed it, was stuck. Soaz showed up, smack, smack, smack. And suddenly, Fnatic won the game.
What a confident mid-game there from Fnatic, because it was that snowball you just talked about, Deficio. Fnatic started it. They initiated the flash engage, and it started that chain of events. But man, oh man, do Fnatic cause me some questions. When you think about the games they've played over the last 4 weeks, and the variances of some of the crazy moments and the fun moments. Reckless yesterday needed to go on the Nexus, which was kind of messy and dirty, and this, which is just nearly flawless and clean.
Well, it's very fun when you look at teams like Fnatic, who's now sitting towards the top. Vitality, who's sitting at number 1 with 7-1. Both teams kind of share the same style of, we're not going to sit and farm and do absolutely nothing in our games. We're going to look for some of these aggressive plays. We can take a 50-50.
Yep.
That Hylissang flash trading with Betsy was the classic Hylissang move. And it worked. Mid lane, flash for flash, and then the next fight it actually paid off.
That's leaning into the strengths that Hylissang brings to the table. As usual, guys, we're going to ask you for your player of the game. Who do you think it is? Head over to @LOL Esports on Twitter. You have to go click on who you think was the player of the game. Our analysts have chosen Reckless, Caps, and or Soaz. So go vote for who you think deserves it. Great performance all around. I think the mid-game, the shot calling, the decision making, it was just really impressive for Fnatic. They're both now tied at 5-3 on the standings. Coming up next, Caps tells us more about Fnatic's win against Giants. We'll also see if G2 Esports can continue their good form as they take on the Unicorns of Love. We'll be back in 3.5. Takes takes down Joko. What? Oh no, Giants, what was that?